Hello, and welcome to the Kathleen Spracklin podcast, where I'm continuing with the Minimalist series so that you can get a working Zettelkasten on your workbench beside you in the fewest number of steps and in the easiest and clearest way possible. Oh, we're getting awfully close to the fun task of putting numbers on our cards. As you will recall, we've been very busy of late. We began by creating a bib box. In our bib box, we put cards that described the books that we were reading. We picked 3, and we followed a set of rules for building the cards in the bib box. Then we created our main box, and we built cards following a set of rules to go into our main box. So now, with some good samples in each, we're ready to take the next step. If you think the next step is numbering your cards, you're almost right. It's the next step after this step, but this step is special, and I'm going to teach it to you right now. So come on over to the down-facing camera, and we'll talk about what comes next when you are building a brand new Zettelkasten like we are. Come on over and let's take a look. This is a workshop, so get your bib cards out because we're ready for the next step. I've got my bib cards here. I've got the 3 bib cards that I made for this assignment, and you should have yours as well. So let's start by working with one of them. I'm going to choose this one. And right now, we are going to make a very special kind of main card. This falls in the category of a main card. It's going to go in your main box. And it's a special type of card that I am christening the foundation card. All right, so here's how we're going to begin creating our foundation card. First of all, if your first book is anything like my first book, it's probably rather specialized. It's about some specific topic that some specific author wrote about. But what I'd like you to ponder right now is, what larger whole is this book a part of? We're going to call that the core area. You can pause the video if you want to stop and do it right now, but mostly it's a thought process. You can do it now, or you can wait and do it afterwards when you are ready to work on your cards. But the core area will help you decide, well, what does this book about as a field? And when I look at this book, well, I know what field it is. This is a business book. So this is the core area for mine. The second thing I want you to ponder, and you can use your purpose as a guide for that. Why are you studying this? What is your larger purpose when you're working in that core area? What are you hoping to do by virtue of your study of that core area? So take some time to think about it for your card. Think about the 2 questions. What is this book a part of in terms of a core area? And why are you studying in this core area? Okay, now that you've got those 2 things in mind, let's start building a main card of a very special type. This is a type of card that I'm calling a foundation card. And as you remember, we know how to build a main card. A main card, we start with a thought or idea from a book. Then we add our own thought or reaction, the bib card nickname, and the tagline at the top. This should be quite familiar to you because you've just made somewhere between 9 and 12 of these for your homework assignment. Now let's see how our foundation card compares. In the place of the thought or idea from the book, you're going to include a statement that begins, I want to learn more about this core area, so that your purpose or your why statement. Let's see how that appears. Okay, let's do it. The core area of this card is business. I want to learn more about business. Okay, there's the first half. And then so that what? My purpose. I want to learn more about business so that I can put LiLLiPub on a sound business footing. Now I'm ready for the second part. The second part is my feelings, my reactions. So now I've supplied my own reaction to what I just wrote. I've been an employee all my life. This is a whole new world for me. I want to build LiLLiPub into something that will outlive me. Now, we know from building all of our main cards that normally here we'd put the bib card nickname, but we don't have a bib card nickname. So what will we put in this corner? I can't dictate to you, but I can show you what I put in the corner. When something is my own thought process, I like to use R.PR, which stands for, the reference is a personal reflection, and then I put the year, the month, and the day. But that's me personally. So put something in there that will mean to you that it's your personal, the whole card is your personal reflection. Now, we've all made enough main cards now so that we know we have the all-important tagline to put at the top. It's got to be a full thought, and it's something that we could walk up to someone and say in conversation. So here is my completed foundation card for this. My tagline is, I want to set LiLLiPub up on a solid business foundation. So you're going to do the same for each of your bib cards, and I'm having you start at the bib card because at the bib card level, already what you're thinking about when you're there at that bib card level is something that is more general than any given main card that you made out of the book. And what I want you to ponder is, what core area does this book belong to? And then think about what your purpose is. Why are you doing that? And these two thought processes will help you make your thought or idea section. And it will begin with, I want to learn more about this core area, so that your purpose. Then you're going to follow it up with how you feel about the statement you just made. And I have to tell you, from doing this exercise, I was astounded at how emotional I felt reading this thing, which I just wrote with my own handwriting because I had not thought about it in that way previously. Then I want you to put whatever you're going to use to identify the source of the card, and of course the all-important tagline. So let's look at two more for practice. Okay, my second book was 12 Life Lessons from St. Thomas Aquinas, and my purpose in that was to gain insights in the character traits which come out of the Summa of St. Thomas Aquinas. It's a rather limited purpose, but if I thought about it, it has a much larger core area than just learning more about character traits. So instead, I included the full larger scope. I want to learn more about my faith so that I can better know, love, and serve God. So that was my I want to learn so that statement. Then my feelings came out of that. Again, I used R.PR for personal reflection and the date, and then I added my all-important tagline. Now let's take a look at the third example. Now this one was rather interesting for me because the book is ostensibly, and its main topic is architecture, as in constructing buildings, cities, and towns. But as I indicated, my purpose in that is to understand architecture in the broader sense of the term, which is how constructs are architected. And in particular, my purpose in acquiring this particular book was a recommendation by Julianne Scherer, where she told me that this book itself was architected in a very special way. And since I'm writing a book, Zettelkasten Beyond Your Wildest Dreams, that's very important to me to have a good example of book architecture. And I made a little side note, a reflective note, right on the bib card because it was important to me that I'm reading as much or more for how the book is structured as for what the book contains. So now, what will I ponder for the core area for this book? And this is what I came up with for the core area and the purpose. I want to learn more about the architecture of things, not just buildings, not even especially buildings. I want to learn how things are ordered and how we talk about this order through pattern language. Now, just so you know, this book does talk about pattern language. And my reflection on this was that a knowledge in order and pattern language seems to me to have a great relevance for Zettelkasten in general. So that gave me a wider understanding as well, because I think that a Zettelkasten not only helps us order our knowledge, but it also helps us understand the very nature of order and the very nature of knowledge. And that if we work this right it should be possible to develop a language for talking about this order. For example, coming up with a language for something called a foundation card, a very special main card that lets us reach the wider subject area and our reason for wanting to study that subject area. So what are we going to do with these 3 new main cards that we've made? We're going to put them with the main cards that we created from those 3 books. And in each case, for each book, we should have a very general card about the subject area that we've been studying in general, and then 3 rather specific cards about information that we gained from one of the books on that subject area. And this relationship should exist for all 3 of the foundation cards that we made. In each case, we should have a general, very foundational card about the big topic and some particulars. So that's all I want you to do between today and tomorrow. Because this is just making 3 main cards, I'm hoping you can accomplish that in one day. So make your foundation card for each of your subject matters, and then meet me back here tomorrow, and we'll talk about starting to number your cards. Okay, so you got your marching orders for one more day, 3 more main cards, 3 foundation cards that will sort of set a basis for the fields that you are studying in those 3 books. And I hope you now have an inkling of why I wanted you to pick 3 books as widely spaced in your proposed reading plan as you could find them, because now you'll have 3 different foundational areas to work from in your Zettelkasten. And starting tomorrow, we'll start putting some numbers on the card. See you then. Bye-bye.